Hello and welcome. We are continuing our special analysis of what has happened on a really fascinating day at the end of the day. And you have to say the verdict in Jammu and Kashmir, which is completely mixed right now, is very difficult to say who is going to form the government. So that's one of the big questions that we're going to be taking a look at over the next hour and then later on in the evening as well. Who is going to form the government in Jammu and Kashmir? What are the scenarios? And we can put together at least 4 or 5 different scenarios. Each of them seems possible or plausible right now, and it's anyone's guess as to which one will finally come to pass. So, Jammu and Kashmir, what are the scenarios? Jharkhand, who is going to be the chief minister? Those are the two big things. And then finally, we'll also take a look at the national picture and what is actually going to be emerging from that. A range of guests also, but before we I introduce any of them, let's just quickly take you through both in Jammu and Kashmir and in Jharkhand what the latest results are, what the latest lead position is, just in case you just switched on your TV sets right now. Let's start with Jammu and Kashmir and then bring up Jharkhand as well. So in Jammu and Kashmir, this is the picture, and all of these are results. PDP 28, 25 for the BJP, 15 for the National Conference, 12 for the Congress, and there are 7 others. Keep an eye on those others. They could be important in at least a couple of the scenarios. That's the way it has finally stacked up in Jammu and Kashmir. Praveen Swami is with us, had something to say. Praveen, it's a bit of a back and forth, although the emergence of the BJP has been really crucial.
Yeah, I mean, I'll try and avoid the one-day cricket match, slog overs comparisons. But it's fascinating how closely the results mirror last year's results, with some players swapping around. So
PDP,
the NC almost directly swapping around. The BJP pretty much playing the same kind of role as, the Congress down to where the BJP was last time. The only party that's significantly grown is the BJP, and I think that changes the whole electoral game in the sense that whereas, for the last 2 elections, you've had coalitions before,
right,
but the Congress was the undisputed kingmaker. It could choose. And in a way, the BJP is sitting pretty in the same position now because there's nothing particularly stable that can happen without it.
Okay, I'm going to now start taking you through the scenarios. We've been doing all the math, as I'm sure everyone else has, and we've tried to come up with the scenarios, and we've also tried to piece together what all the players are saying, which frankly isn't all that helpful because most of them have said all options are open, we're not quite sure what's going to happen, but interesting doors have also been opened. Oman Abdullah, for example, to NDTV saying a door is open to the PDP as well as to the BJP. So, scenarios, let's start going through them. Vikramaditya Singh, of the leader of the PDP, is joining us now as well. Great to have you with us. And Khalid Jahangir is joining us of the BJP. So I'm going to be taking their help in taking us through some of these scenarios. Professor Saifuddin Soz of the Congress Party also going to be with us in a couple of minutes. And I'll be also showing you what the other major leaders have said. So let's start off with the scenarios. Here they are. The first scenario, let's have that up on the screen right now. This is the PDP plus the BJP scenario. 28 PDP, 25 BJP adds up to 53, very stable. What have they said about it? Amit Shah saying all options are open. PDP saying we're not going to try and cobble together the numbers, but we are exploring options. So neither of them, in a sense, saying no to this option. Well, I do have both the PDP and the BJP right here, so let's just get their take on it. Vikramaditya, I just want to get your sense of, I know you're going to say that the parties are going to take a final call on this, but if you're looking at the sort of scenarios that could emerge, have you within the party been considering any party or the others, the parties you cannot go with, whether it's the National Conference or the BJP or the Congress Party?
Vikram, I think at this point I'm not going to be able to add anything new to what we've been saying the whole day. But I think it's important to point out that whatever the government formation that comes about in the next couple of days, it is absolutely essential that it's a stable government. We owe that to the people to give them a stable government and to be able to deliver on the various promises that we made to them. So it's absolutely critical that we don't just muster up numbers for the sake of getting numbers, but actually form a government that's going to be able to deliver and carries the faith of the people.
Okay, so the PDP is going to be looking for a stable government. So, as I said, there are 2 or 3 ways of doing that. There's PDP plus the BJP, which is the option that we have out here. There's the PDP plus the National Conference, which was an interesting option that was opened up, especially once Omar starts saying that if Mufti calls me, anything is possible. But before I look at options 2, 3, 4 and 5, I'd just like to welcome onto the program Saifuddin Soz, Senior Congress Leader, and just talk to him a bit about the way he sees this. Professor Soz, thanks for being with us. And before I start discussing permutations and combinations, your overall take at the end of the day, been a bad day for the Congress Party, down reasonably sharply. Which of the scenarios that you can see unfolding so that at the end of the day, Jammu and Kashmir does have a stable government? Professor Soz, can you hear me?
Congress Party has the mandate to be in the assembly, and perform its role in the opposition. But if there is a chance for a secular coalition, our cards will remain open. But let us see the combination that will come up. We are not in a hurry because we got the verdict which we have to accept. And we have accepted this verdict. Now, for us, is a situation to wait and see how things shape for future.
All right. So the essential question, of course, is going to be, you're saying a secular coalition. So if I start looking at the options that are there for the Congress, it perhaps only works out with the NC unless the PDP wants to come and add the numbers. So let me just actually take you through some of those other scenarios. Professor Soz, if you'll just bear with me for a minute, I want to just take people through a couple of the scenarios and then I'm going to get your take on it. So scenario number 2 that we were talking about was the PDP plus the NC. Let's have that option there. 28 is the PDP, 17 for the NC. That adds up to 45. That's just over the number. Is this realistic? Most people have said it's not like even a possibility. Why would they come together? But Omar said, hey, I could support the PDP, Mufti Muhammad Saeed calls. And he says, why are you so surprised? Look what's happening in places like Bihar and others where, people who are otherwise considered adversaries and people who couldn't come together are now doing this. So he's really thrown up the option and the opening for that. Option number 3 would be the National Conference in the BJP, which again we can put up on the screen and take a look at whether that's at all something which is there. I remember Amit Shah said all options are open. So NC plus the BJP is one other option that we are going to be discussing at some length. And then there's the PDP and the Congress. What is it being said about here in the NC and the BJP is essentially, you've heard what both the parties have said out there, and that's what's coming through now. Option number 4 is the PDP plus the Congress plus independents and others. This is something which is ideologically something that could suit the PDP, it could suit the Congress as well, but it's not enough. Those two by themselves only add up to 40, so they will need the support of independents, they could need the support of some of the others as well. So, Saifuddin Soz, when you're saying the Congress is interested in playing a role, this is the only option in which the Congress can play a role, which is in alliance with the PDP in some way, with others and independents. Is that what you're eyeing?
I will tell you, these all options are difficult options, except that Congress can be party, Congress can be a partner in a secular coalition. In fact, we have that position. We are a determining factor still for a secular coalition. Having said that, I would say that National Conference going with BJP, they have already learned lesson. This number, they have been continuously falling because I had a long quarrel with Umar Saab's father, Dr. Farooq Abdullah, long back in 99. So I had predicted that they would have people with them. So the people of Kashmir rejected their of joining BJP that time, and they learned a lesson, and it has been a hard lesson for National Conference. Okay. Should they exercise that option, they will learn the lesson further. In fact, that is no option for National Conference, but if they want power, then they can go whole hog.
Okay.
And similarly,
So, Professor, so is what the option which you would probably have preferred.
Like PDP going with BJP, we'll have difficult lessons for PDP.
Okay, the option that you would have probably preferred, Congress plus the NC, doesn't add up. It's just the numbers aren't there, because NC plus the Congress is 27. You cannot make the numbers add up. So NC plus the Congress is not an option at all. For the Congress to have a role, it has to be, and I don't think you're going to go with the BJP, obviously. So it has to be Congress plus the PDP is the only way that the Congress can play a role in this. The others have options which we will discuss with them. But for the Congress to play a role, it can only be PDP plus Congress plus Independent plus others. So are you categorically telling the PDP you'll be willing to support them?
Which you have a situation in mind which I can read through telepathy, I must say. I don't want any jod tod, because if you want to create numbers, the coalition will not be smooth. It has to be a smooth, see, the way has to be smooth to form a coalition. So therefore, Congress cannot go into a combination, one which is not ideologically acceptable to Congress. The other is jod tod, politics. It will not be a stable government. So therefore, it has to be a smooth operation, and you can guess what way it can be. But we are not impatient for that, initiative, Congress party. It is the time we must wait and watch.
All right.
And if it comes natural way, then Congress can align. If it comes through, jod tod, you create a situation, you maneuver a situation. I think I have a situation in mind that should not be done, because that will make a very unstable government, and we shall not be able to deliver and governance.
All right.
And governance is needed. Kashmir has suffered very great hardship through floods. So therefore, we must give a government that works.
All right, Professor Soos, thank you so much for joining us and for discussing that particular option with us. Can I now come to the others and let's in fact start running the options again, so everyone gets a sense of them. So at least two of those options potentially involve the BJP. So let me get your take on them. So option number one, let's just bring them all up again. So option number one, which was PDP plus the BJP. Is option number one, PDP plus the BJP, which adds up to 53. And then there was option number three, which we will also bring up, which is the National Conference plus the BJP. Khalid, on the question of National Conference plus the BJP, and Praveen, I want to get you in on that as well. One of the issues with that particular scenario, the option number three, is people could feel that the mandate has in some way, and especially within the Kashmir Valley, there will be a sense that this is once again, Delhi has come in some way and done jod tod ki rajniti and has subverted the mandate, because that's not certainly what the Valley has voted for. They voted to get the NC out. The Valley has not voted for the BJP. NC plus BJP government is something that would make, certainly in the Valley, would be treated in a very negative manner.
I think the people of Jammu and Kashmir, through their mandate, they have vehemently opposed two parties. One is the National Conference, their governance, and Congress. And Bharatiya Janata Party, let me assure you, BJP will be the part and parcel of the new government, which will take place within some days. Tomorrow we are having a parliamentary board meeting and things will get cleared. Regarding National Conference, I don't think people of Kashmir have been alienated by these people. We have Saifuddin Saab Soos, with due regards to the senior leader. He is only telling about communal politics, what they have done to the Kashmiris. They were running this Jammu and Kashmir affairs from 1947. This is what they have given to Kashmiris. Alienation to the rest of the country. Bharatiya Janata Party doesn't believe. Bharatiya Janata Party believes sabka saath, sabka vikas. And this time Kashmiri youth will be the bridge to the New Delhi. And this voter turnout have shown the will towards the way to...
Okay, I'm going to actually come to that broader question of what the voter turnout means and how significant this particular election has been, because frankly, that in many ways transcends whoever eventually forms the government with any of these particular options. But let me just go back to you, Vikramaditya Singh. I'm just again trying to understand from an ideological point of view, as all these phone calls and all are going to be taking the rounds for the next day or two. To your mind, of these various permutations and combinations that are there before the PDP, whether it's the BJP, whether it's the the National Conference, whether it's even the Congress party, all three are potential for you. Ideologically, which way do you see it, and which of these is in keeping with the mandate of the people?
Vikram, like the gentleman rightly said just now, clearly the Congress and the NC have been given the mandate to sit in the opposition. So have any kind of alliance with the NC in the valley would not be respecting the mandate of the people. To my mind, the option 1 and 2 that you have suggested are perhaps more workable. Of course, details have to be looked into, common minimum programs will have to be evolved, and it is a process that's going to take a couple of days. It's not going to happen in a hurry, in my opinion.
So just let me understand, you said option 1 and 2 are more feasible, which is PDP plus the BJP or PDP plus the National Conference. So is the second even a possibility that the PDP and the National Conference could arrive and agree on a...
No, I beg your pardon. I meant the PDP and the Congress and others.
Okay,
option,
okay, fine.
Option,
so PDP and BJP you are saying, and PDP and Congress, you're saying those are the two possibilities that are more
That's
likely.
Correct.
Okay, Praveen, now you probably are the one person among everyone who can really tell us what's going to happen.
That's right.
We'll keep flashing all four options, and I'll come to a fifth.
I'll just look up on this piece of tissue paper where all of them wrote it down beforehand. No, seriously though, I think Omar Abdullah played an elegant bit of political gamesmanship earlier when he opened up this PDP National Conference thing, because I suspect what's at the back of his party's mind is to turn around in Kashmir after this is all over and say that, look, we, an ethnic Kashmiri Muslim party essentially, offered the PDP support to keep out the BJP, the communal forces, and they didn't do it, and they went ahead and did it. And I think he's setting up the game for that. He wants to push the PDP.
He didn't exactly say we're going to tie up with them. He said it's a crack in the window that I am leaving open.
We're such nice guys, we're offering you this deal, but you chose to go with that instead. And I don't think the objective is to get a deal with them. I think the objective is to push them into what he knows will be an unstable and painful alliance involving the Congress and independents and others, which will be bogged down from day one. I think it's pretty clear that in terms of numbers, both the BJP and the PDP practically know that this is the only sensible way to go. But both of them have problems. It wasn't 3 weeks ago that Mehbooba Mufti was saying, absolutely no way we go with the BJP. The BJP's MLAs in Jammu have been going around calling Mufti Saeed all kinds of horrible things in the course of this campaign. And they're going to have to find a way to make this alliance possible for their voters.
Okay, so I'm going to now get Shekhar Gupta to tell us exactly what is going to happen. Shekhar, so we've got all the options up there. We've been doing the math for some time, as I'm sure you have. Basically, 4 options, PDP plus the BJP. Next option is PDP plus the National Conference, which I wouldn't have believed if Umar hadn't said it. Third option is the NC plus the BJP. And then you've got PDP plus the Congress plus independents. What would you bet on?
I think any combination with NC in it, particularly if it's BJP NC, I think will be obscene. The reason I say that is
NC BJP would be seen as especially in the valley, would be seen as
too cynical. And also, this election is a rejection of NC.
Okay.
So
PDP, BJP or PDP Congress?
Remember, in a period when we still had sort of relatively good manners in our politics, Rajiv Gandhi got 220 odd in 1989, but did not claim the right to form a government, because he said the mandate was that he should sit in the opposition. So today, if you did that, I think it will be very damaging. I do not see the BJP going with NC. I think BJP, PDP is a possibility. PDP, NC, Congress.
PDP, Congress and independents.
And independents, maybe NC support from outside. So I think all possibilities are there. I am only wishing that nothing happens whereby NC comes back sharing power in a sort of
because that could be, because I'm just going to come to that, because there's the big story I think behind this election was the fact that free and fair elections and so much participation and people came out, and if there's some cynical backroom maneuvering.
Can I come in on that a little bit? I think it's about time, after so many free and fair elections, it's about time we stop qualifying every Kashmir election as a free and fair election. I think every election in India is a free and fair election, and Kashmir election is a normal Indian election now, unlike the past when it was institutionally rigged. by Government of India.
But I
Right?
think
So-
this time a large number of fresh areas people came forward to experience that.
Well, I think as people acquire confidence in the process, they will
More and
come
more
out
will
on their own. So I think now the election process is set in J&K, and frankly, politics is set in J&K. So if a J&K election is a normal Indian election now, I think J&K's politics is also becoming more like a normal Indian politics.
But
So
this
you-
is
so-
a this
so-
is a
so-
good
so-
old
so-
this
so-
is a
which case-
good
in which
old
case,
fashioned
Shekhar-
khichdi mandate which
which case-
has
In
not
which
happened.
case, we should expect some cynical deal making to be tried at least before sense prevails.
Well, I mean, nothing is cynical in politics. I mean, you've seen in this country, you've seen the left and the BJP together keeping a government in power, right? I mean, in our working life as journalists, VP Singh's government, we've seen in Punjab, Akali government helped from outside by the left. Anything is possible
Okay,
in this
so
country.
talking about cynical options, well, there are some which are possible, and here's what some would consider would be a really sad option and a doomsday option, which is option number 5, which is nothing happens. Nobody can put it together, nobody agrees, demands are too high, and you end up with president's rule
That will
or
be tragic.
governor's rule.
Because the last thing Kashmir needs is president's rule. Don't remind anybody of that.
But it's a possibility. That's what I'm saying is option 5. Vikramaditya saying, would this be the worst of all the options, president's rule? Or governor's
Yes,
rule?
absolutely, Vikram. Governor's rule would be the worst option for anybody. I think we owe it to the people of Jammu and Kashmir, especially after the horrible times that we have gone through with the floods and everything else, to come up with some sort of a healing touch, come up with rehabilitation packages for them, and to start getting their lives in order. And I don't think governor's rule would be the way forward at all.
What is president's rule? President's rule is the Home Ministry's rule.
Yeah, so that's what...
I mean, no state wants president's rule, but least of all
Khalid,
Kashmir.
I've seen some people on Twitter saying, well, you know, this has all been designed by Delhi so that the BJP can rule through governor's rule.
No, I don't think so. BJP was the first party which opposed the governor's rule. Rest National Conference tried best to halt the elections. So
you wouldn't like governor's
no,
rule either?
Not at all. We want to
Dr.
strengthen the democratic process.
Okay,
not,
Dr. Ajay Kumar, spokesperson of the Congress Party, joining us now. This presumably is the last thing that people would want, right? So, and actually, it is possible for the numbers to be, if egos are put aside and sensible, you know, planning is done, somebody can form the government. So, you think option 5 should be ruled out?
Yeah, I think Vikram, option 5 should definitely be ruled out, and like we've been saying that like-minded parties, Congress has made a stand clear that if PDP and Congress, I mean, is for the PDP to decide what they want to do, and I think that's a viable option. That's a possible option. Mr. Ghulam Nabi Azad has said it very clearly, but it's now the ball is in PDP's court, and they need to take a call.
Okay, fair enough. Abhay Sapori now joining us. Let's just tell us what, from the point of view of the average person, the common person in Jammu and Kashmir, what is it that they were really looking for? We can't take option 5 off the screen right now, just so that people stop getting alarmed by it, just in case, you know, even say, what's this which is finally coming up? So Abhay Sapori, what is it that you think the people in Jammu and Kashmir were looking for from this election? And going by the numbers and everything that we are seeing, what do you think it is that they're going to end up getting?
I think what the people of Jammu and Kashmir really wanted through these elections, and perhaps one of the main reasons why they turned out in such huge numbers, was number one, a very stable government, and a government which can now lead and transform Jammu and Kashmir into a much, a state which is more developed in any means. And as far as, the results which have come, and all these possibilities that we have, which are revolving around the numbers which all these parties have got, I personally here feel that with PDP having the maximum number of seats here, will certainly play a very important role. And at the same time, BJP actually this time fought the elections to be in power. And I personally feel it's very different from all the elections in the past which they have been fighting, because right now their main agenda was that they wanted to be, in the government and run the government this time.
Okay.
And so the possibility of two regional parties coming together like PDP and NC, it actually sounds like, BJP and Congress coming together. And I don't think that's really going to mature. It's perhaps, it could be the option one, as you have, put it.
BJP,
it could be PDP. Okay. Yes, that is very likely.
And let me tell you, there's one more aspect and reflection of all of this that I think we should keep in mind, and I just want to bring that up, which is, of course, the regional aspect. Let's not forget, of all the states in India, Jammu and Kashmir is really complex, not just in having 3 regions, but so many differences within each of those regions. So, and this election really did throw up a very different picture when it comes to each of the regions. A different party won in Kashmir, a different party won in Jammu, and a different party won in Ladakh. Let's just take a look at that. This, for example, is what the breakup was in Kashmir, where it was very clearly a PDP victory, 25 out of the 46. The National Conference got 12, Congress got 4, and the BJP got 0. This was what the position in the valley was, 46 seats. And then you move from there to the next region, which is Jammu, and here it's a BJP sweep, 25 seats there for the BJP, Congress coming in there, and the NC and the PDP just a small handful of seats each. And the third region, which is Ladakh, Congress actually winning in this region, 3 of the 4, 1 going to an independent. Maybe BJP would have been slightly disappointed because they'd won here in the parliamentary election. The regional factor in this, Shekhar, is going to be something which, do you think it is something which should be kept in mind whenever the government formation is
Frankly,
happening?
I think,
or in cynical deal making that won't come up? BJP, PDP to that extent sounds like Jammu party, Kashmir party.
But Vikram, how cynical is arithmetic? Arithmetic is logical, it's not cynical. So if you look at arithmetic, this is a verdict split between 3 regions. Jammu has voted one way, the Valley has voted one way, Kashmir Valley has voted one way, and Ladakh has voted another way. So you have to now reconcile the 3. You cannot have a government run by, fortunately or unfortunately, that situation doesn't exist. That one region has been able to give so many numbers to one side that they can rule. But for BJP to rule the state now, as speculation goes with Congress support from outside or some Congress MLAs deserting, etc., will be as tragic as PDP and NC coming together and ruling the state, because you don't want to put that state under more
stress and pressure than it has
already been. Because for people in Jammu then to believe that Valley is ruling us, and for Ladakhis to believe that the Valley is ruling us, and because the moment that happens, whether it's a Jammu government or a Valley government, communal angle will be back in the state.
Look, just to put some context on this, for decades, whether it was the NC or the PDP, the NC or the Congress, every government in Jammu and Kashmir had solid support across these regions. In fact, that was the claim to fame. And that in the last 3 elections, in fact, has broken down. It's vitally important that an accommodation now be arrived at. And as Shekhar says, these are clearly the 2 dominant parties in their regions.
Okay, I'm just going to interrupt this because Ravi Shankar Prasad now joining us. Ravi Shankar Prasad, thanks so much for joining us. As a day for the BJP, another win in Jharkhand. So the BJP the number of states that the BJP is controlling is going up rather sharply. It's continuing to go up, and that probably will help you in the Rajya Sabha at some point or the other. In Jammu and Kashmir, do you think this is a state that potentially you can add with the appropriate alliances?
Well, the results are there. Why I fully compliment the people of Jammu and Kashmir. The ballot has defeated the bullet. That's a big message. But the results are as they are. We ought to have done much better, but we have done exceedingly well. I would say that since the inception of Jansangh days from 1951, this is the best ever performance of the BJP. I have myself been visiting Jammu and Kashmir in the last 3 years, and I was seeing the change occurring. Amit Shah campaigning in Sopore and Anantnag was the news for us. Our Muslim candidates campaigning vigorously and also getting votes, not the vote to win. These are indications of great change. The rally of Narendra Modi in Srinagar, a 30 years rally
You've
after
also
Prime Minister.
You've also had a Muslim candidate winning on a BJP ticket in Jammu. interestingly defeating a national conference, person out there.
Therefore, I am telling you, and by the way, Vikram, you may recall that our vote percentage is a little more than PDP's. That's what I have been told. The final figures are yet to come. But that's what I have been told from the reliable sources. Be that as it may, we have made a very powerful presence in Jammu and Kashmir, undoubtedly. This is a message across. In fact, Mr. Sajjad Lone also won too. He openly met with Narendra Modi and he denounced separatism. He withdrew himself completely, came in the mainstream, and I am very happy. I would like to publicly compliment him for showing the courage as to how separatism, terrorism has been defeated.
Okay,
these are very positive signs.
So this evening, we are sure lots of conversation, lots of meetings, lots of things are going to take on to figure out how a government can be formed in Jammu and Kashmir. Now, for the BJP, your options include trying to put something together with the national conference, which some people may see is in some way trying to subvert the mandate, or talking to the PDP and saying, let's try and put something together, which might mean some compromises on the BJP's part. Do you think that effort is something which is well worth it? We did hear Amit Shah saying that all options are being kept open.
Well, Vikram, the President has already said what he has to say. When the verdict has come, there has to be an earnest effort to form the government given the arithmetic as it is, while respecting the verdict. What shall be the nature of that architecture? To what extent we are willing to accommodate all these things is a question to be considered by the party's parliamentary board after the entire picture becomes very clear. But surely the BJP is a ruling party at center, is ruling 9 states including Jharkhand now in the country. Therefore, we have also to be responsible to the nature of mandate which has come about. But whether it will be sitting in the government or in opposition, or what is to be done or what is not to be done, is a question to be taken by the parliamentary board, decided by parliamentary board.
The other question, of course, which has to be decided by the BJP is who is going to be your chief minister in Jharkhand, because there were 2 or 3 candidates, and now that Arjun Munda has lost, there are 2 leading possibilities right now. But maybe more.
First of all, about Jharkhand, Vikram, I have to say one thing. Jharkhand was a part of Bihar. We all campaign very vigorously. We have a very emotional attachment to that state. For the first time after its formation in the year 2000, a stable government is coming. And by the way, Vikram, I have to also ask you a question. Yesterday there was a big dharna in Jantar Mantar by Janta Parivar. Where is the Janta of that Parivar? I was trying to locate since morning.
Yeah,
Lalu Prasad was having 5 seats, lost all. Nitish Kumar contested 11, had 2 MLAs earlier, lost the deposit on 10. If that is the kind of Janta with the great champion and torch bearer of the Parivar in the fight against Narendra Modi, then be it so. It has to be told today.
Okay.
What kind of Janta is there with this Parivar?
Okay, but
anyway, that is beside the point.
Yes, so they obviously also had a bad day. Congress had a bad day, but for you, I'm just trying to figure out, is it Mr. Raghubar Das or is it Saryu Roy? Who is the new Chief Minister of Jharkhand?
Well, again, Vikram, you are asking loaded, super-loaded questions.
That's my job to ask
These are
super-loaded
questions to be considered by... Yes, they will. Why not? When we have come to power, this becomes a... there is a very peculiar kind of a scenario. We have come to a majority, very stable majority. Arjun Munda has lost. Mr. Babula Brandi has lost from both the places. That's what I am told. These have been there. Yes. There have been ups and downs also. But what I would convey is that we have got enough competent leaders who have got every competence to lead. But let the parliamentary board take a call in consultation with our MLAs.
All right, sir. Well, thank you for joining. Just some rather sad breaking news is just coming in. 11 killed by suspected militants in Assam. That's the news that is just coming in. We will, of course, try and get more details. Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, that's just news that perhaps we are letting you know for the first time. Apparently by the National Democratic Front of Bodoland militants, 11 killed. So in a sense, on a day when the Kashmir counting took place, this news is just coming in. Ravi Shankar Prasad, I wonder if you want to just quickly react to that now that we have you with us. This is in the Sonitpur in the Kokrajhar district.
First of all, First of all, we will have to know the entire details. It is completely reprehensible. I condemn it outright. Violence, killing anywhere is bad. And Assam is a sensitive state by anyone, reprehensible. but it only underscores, Vikram, that we have miles to go before we sleep.
Right. Ravi Shankar Prasad, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Some of my life in Assam, I can tell you that for 2 years, Assam has no government. The Congress government is totally non-functional.
So, can I just check? Let's just get some quick. Let Alok just tell us for the further details on this, and then we can figure out just exactly what's happening here. Alok, can you just tell us what you know about this?
Well, at the moment, Vikram, the details are very sketchy, but what we know confirmed from the Assam Director General of Police, Mr. Khagen Sharma, is this. There have been 4 separate incidents of shootings and killings, all affected to be affected by the National Democratic Front of Bodoland Songbijit faction, which is the main militant group that operates in the areas of Lower Assam that are technically known as Bodoland, which is Kokrajhar, and the adjoining districts. Now, a total of 11 people have been killed. This is confirmed so far by the DGP, but he says that the death toll will rise because these 4 incidents have taken place in very remote areas in these districts, and that's why the police are still getting to these spots. So this death toll may just rise. He also pointed out that these are targeted killings again. That's what he said, because all those who have died right now are Adivasis. Adivasis are people who have settled in those parts for a long time, and they, of course, are scheduled tribes. So that's something that the DGP has said. Of course, more confirmation is awaited and more details are awaited, as the DGP pointed out, because these are very remote areas. But this is what I have right now from the DGP. 11 people killed, the death toll could rise. Seems to be a case of targeted killings, and the organization responsible, according to the Assam Police, is the National Democratic Front of Bodoland Songbijit faction, which is the main militant group that operates in the Kokrajhar and Bodoland Territorial Council areas in Lower Assam.
All right, Alok, thanks for joining us with that update. We will come back to you to get further information as and when you get it. Shekhar, you were saying, it's because of sad, there seem to be four separate attacks.
Well, the point is that Assam has really had no effective government now for 2 years. It used to be an effective government, but because Congress party was not able to handle dissensions within the party, was not able to handle other ambitions in the party, and frankly was not able to give space to other ambitions, because the chief minister there also came up with a mini dynasty of his own, which nobody had expected. He put his son in front, and that made other people in the Congress, particularly one of his most efficient ministers, very unhappy. And since then, frankly, he has no sway over the government. Nobody listens to the government.
And that's one of the factors.
Something like this was waiting to happen. In fact, Assam is a state that achieved peace and stability, which it had been denied for such a long time. It will be very sad now that if it is lost, simply because the state has no governance right now.
It just shows you the importance of
governance. If I may just add from what Shekhar is saying, an important lesson here is the importance of having a stable and functioning government in Jammu and Kashmir, because none of the gains that have been made in previous years can be taken for granted. We haven't had a massacre of civilians, which you've reported on, I've reported on, happened routinely for many years now, but that's because there has been an effective system in place.
Right.
Absolutely critical that there be a strong government whose energies are not waylaid in buying off 2 MLAs and bringing on 3 and so on and so forth.
All right, so we are going to take a very quick break, come back and tell you more on both on the election front and also on this news which is just coming in. 11 killed in 4 separate incidents by militants in Assam. More on all of this when we return. Welcome back. So that just to remind you of that news, 11 people killed in 4 separate attacks by militants in Assam. We'll continue to track that story. But just to come back to the elections in Jharkhand, the picture is reasonably clear when it comes to who's formed the government. Of course, it is the BJP and its allies out there, and that's the final picture. 42 seats there for the BJP and its allies. The only question there now is who is going to be the chief minister. Arjun Munda lost, so the candidates out there, Raghubar Das is one possibility we're hearing. Saryu Roy is another possibility. Maybe some big surprises could be thrown up there as well. So perhaps a perfect time to welcome Jayant Sinha, Minister of State Finance, of course, hailing from that particular region as well. Jan, thanks for joining us. Just wanted to get your take on the overall position in Jharkhand. Obviously, a government being formed, single party or single alliance government at any rate, for the first time perhaps ever in Jharkhand. But the numbers for the BJP and Sada is not as much as some of the exit polls and others were saying. So are you satisfied or disappointed?
No, I think this is a day of great celebration in Jharkhand. For the very first time, we have a stable majority government that will bring sorely needed development to Jharkhand. It's just absolutely wonderful news. I couldn't be more delighted.
So what to your mind at the end of the day are the lessons that the new government should keep in mind in Jharkhand? Obviously, stability is a very big factor and has been one of the reasons why there's been hardly any development in Jharkhand, where unlike some of the other new states that were carved up. So what to your mind should the government keep in mind? What can be done to bring some progress to Jharkhand?
Yeah, really, Vikram, it's a combination of three important factors. One is we've not had a stable majority government in Jharkhand. Number two, we have a state with tremendous mineral riches. And number three, we've had a very weak government in the center for the last 10 years. When you combine these three together, you have a situation where for a lot of the political leaders in Jharkhand, particularly those who are more corrupt and more opportunistic, it is far more profitable to loot the natural riches in the state than to actually provide development for the people of Jharkhand. So I think this is a very historic turning point for the state, where under the able leadership of Prime Minister Modi, we can really focus on the development of the state as opposed to trying to make a quick buck.
So the big question, of course, is who is going to be the Chief Minister now?
Well, the party's parliamentary board makes those decisions, and I believe that they'll be meeting tomorrow, in fact, to go through the discussion on, who the likely candidates would be. Obviously, as you know, we have some very experienced senior leaders on our parliamentary board, and I'm sure they'll make the right decision for the people of Jharkhand.
Okay, so in both those big questions, I guess the answer is that it's all in the play right now. I just wanted to get all of you to just weigh in on one other aspect of this election, the big national picture. We just had the Rajya Sabha where nothing got done because the states voted in a certain manner. This is the way the map of India now looks from a political point of view. If you can take a look at overall what the national picture is, the states that are ruled by the NDA and the states that are ruled by the UPA, you are going to see a position where saffron is pretty much spreading across the board. Just, Ajoy, wanted to ask you that question while we wait for that graphic to come up. Ajoy, okay, I think we've just lost Ajoy right now. Khalid, as a member of the BJP, that saffron is spreading across the large part of the country now. It's there in Jharkhand as well. What do you think? Do you think it's going to be coming to Jammu and Kashmir as well?
I think from Jammu and Kashmir is a crown of India, and it has started. It's a Congress Mukt Bharat, Congress Free India, and it's a beginning. Is now a beginning, and will end in Tamil Nadu very shortly. So
here are the NDA ruled states now, and Shekhar and Praveen, the entire western central part now starting to move towards the east. Nothing in the south, and I guess UP and Bihar are the two big ones that they are waiting for. I think that map is changing very fast.
I think one very interesting lesson of Kashmir results today, forget Jharkhand for a moment, Kashmir results today is that this confirms that Congress party's decline and the shrinking is pan-national, as well as, I'm using the term in a very cruel manner, secular. Right?
Now you're being mean, Shekhar.
Maybe I'm being mean, but
that's it. Look at that. That's the UPA ruled states now, mainly in the northeast.
Well, I mean,
maybe that's one of the reasons why Mr. Modi keeps going to the
States which have large minority populations, states which have large tribal populations. What is it telling you? This is telling you that the Congress has not produced leaders. Who's been Congress party's tribal leader in the last 40 years?
So the secular decline of the Congress party and the secular rise of the BJP is
yes, but behind that decline there are reasons that if I was in government, which I'm mercifully not, I'd be paying very close attention to. 10 years ago when UPA 1 came to power, it came to power on the back of an aspirational nation that had great dreams about what people want to achieve with their lives. Okay. It talked a great deal and it delivered very little. And if I was this government, I would be clear that simply, government is not a piece of machinery that you click the button and make sure the gears are oiled and it'll all keep clicking on its own. You have to be very, very focused on what you want to achieve.
And in today's democracy, because everything moves so fast and is so hyper-connected, it takes no time before applause turns to boos.
Okay,
Absolutely.
so Vikramaditya Singh, I'm going to get you to have the last word on the show. Doesn't take that much time for applause to turn to boos. So in case it is, as it looks likely, a PDP government that is going to be coming in there in Jammu and Kashmir, I hope you are convinced about the fact that effective governance will have to be delivered and delivered really fast.
Absolutely, there's no question about it, Vikram. That will have to be a priority. We have made a lot of promises genuinely from the bottom of our heart to the people, and we'll have to start providing good governance and delivering on every single one of them. There's no question about it.
All right, well, thank you all so much for joining us on what's been a really interesting and a really exciting day. We're still not 100% sure who the next Chief Minister in Jharkhand is going to be, and we certainly are not completely sure as to which of those various scenarios that we were discussing are going to play out. I guess the answers will be known in the next 24 to 36 hours. Thanks for watching, but our special coverage, of course, continues on the other side of the screen.